be a big part of the work that we shall do post the election. My brother, the Supreme Court Justice Smokin Wanjala, calls himself a prophet. And he keeps saying, I prophesy there shall not be an election petition after this election. And I say, I am the prophet of doom. There shall be one. So we must prepare ourselves. I think like somebody said, how do we prepare ourselves? Because as technology continues evolving, we must be prepared and think ahead. Even if we don't, even if we can't manage, we must think ahead of technology. By way of introduction, my understanding of AI is that it is evolving, but is largely unregulated. So the conversation in Silicon Valley and other places is how to create AI tools, and in the government offices, how do you regulate these tools? And in the context of elections, increasingly both electoral management bodies and judiciaries must develop plans to respond to, and in some cases, use AI to maintain free, fair, and secure elections. On the part of the judiciary, certainly, we must think ahead and ensure that we are prepared and to ensure that automated or AI-enabled systems enable fairness, accountability, and transparency. We also must be aware of a phenomenon called trial by media. When this statement was first used in my own understanding during the O.J. Simpson trial, it was TV, not social media, not any other kind of media. And we know in the O.J. Simpson case and even the Michael Jackson trial that social media often are used to express strong opinions about ongoing cases. And these opinions can go viral, influencing broader public sentiment, but more fundamentally, they create parallel public trials. And these parallel public trials can complicate the judicial process and impact on judicial independence. And so judges must ensure that they remain insulated from such external pressures, because this is vital for the integrity of the judicial system. You may wish to know that last year when we visited Brazil, we had a long conversation with judges of the Supreme Court of Brazil around the question of use of ChatGPT and AI. Shock on us, when we returned to Kenya, one of the judges who was with us underwent disciplinary proceedings because he used ChatGPT to write part of his judgment. And so when I had a conversation here that there is need for us to have guidelines, we in the judiciary of Kenya are having a conversation internally to ensure that we have guidelines, because we know that judges are using ChatGPT, lawyers are certainly using it. I forget about your daughter or son. Advocates are using ChatGPT, and then it's worse than what I saw in cut and paste. Cut and paste was easier to detect, but my friend ChatGPT is in another world. So we must also review as a group and as stakeholders judicial independence in the face of cyber attacks, misinformation, and disinformation during elections. If it was bad in 2022, I promise you, again I prophesy, 2027 will not be any easier. So, to the judiciary in election dispute resolution, you know the terms of the Constitution, you know the jurisprudence on the elections, but I think we must have a conversation around 2013, 2017, 2022 elections, because those are the ones that will teach us where we are going. The Supreme Court in all those three elections, well, four, because 2017 had two presidential elections, settled some of the issues around electoral jurisprudence. The normative derivative question, the burden and standard of proof, the counting of timelines within the Constitution, the nominations process, the conduct of repeat elections, and the distinct roles of the chairperson, co-chairperson of the IEBC and IEBC. And that's an important point because of the issues that happened in 2022. Kenya also, between 2007, after the Kriegler report, and 2022 in the last election, we now know that technology has come to the fore. And we only touched and scratched the surface in 2017, but you know that 2022 was principally around the electoral process in the context of technology. And whereas in the Constitution, Article 86, which is now becoming the anchor of all presidential election petitions particularly, we must realize that in the use of technology by IEBC, the question remains, has that use of technology met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency? And I again prophesy that in the 2027 election, there is no doubt that technology will be the functionary and core question that we must address in the election petition subsequent to the elections. Those of you who followed the Rigiji saga will remember that at some point the judiciary website, the online filing system went down. I want you to carry this question into 2027. Why did that online platform collapse? Why did the firewalls that we created before 2022 suddenly become vulnerable? And imagine what may happen